Hey Bay County, I'm Cheryl Little and I'm with my favorite fishing partner, Jerry McBride. And Jerry, we recently took a Hobie adventure over at Captiva Island. It's near what, Fort Myers, Sanibel?
Right.
And
It's absolutely amazing how pristine it is, considering that you've got this metropolis right there. And yet, Ding Darling Park is, 6,400 acres with a wilderness status that they've had for 50 years, which is totally unique this far south. Most of those wilderness areas are Alaska, where nobody goes. So,
my favorite fishing there was at Ding Darling. Out of all of it, I think.
Well, especially with the
pretty.
wind that we had, you can duck out of the
30-knot
wind
winds.
there, and lots of, yeah, just a week of wind. And but the nice thing about over there, there's so many islands and so many different shorelines you can fish off of. You can always get out of the wind, and there was certainly no shortage of redfish and snook and trout.
Oh, Cheryl! Finally got a decent sized one, and I side cast him too. It was awesome. Jerry would be proud. It's almost time to let her go. Man, what a pretty fish. And what a fight in shallow water. Big girl. You almost ready? Yeah, baby, that was awesome. Oh, let's see if we can get some more. They're cruising these little shallow flats on the edges of the mangroves, and there's like 10 of them right there. And that one was on it. Awesome.
Nice little snook up in probably about 10 inches of water, which is the way we like our flats fish. We went up in a little bay, but noticed after we got inside there wasn't any current up in there, and you almost got to have some current to get these fish feeding. So came back out in the main cut here, and there's a little bit of bait moving and some water moving, and she just came up and missed it, and then decided she really wanted it, so she came over and ate it again. That is an old spook. It's about all you can fish out here today with in this real shallow water. I've got a backup egret wedgetail rigged weedless on as a backup here. If I blow one up that won't eat the top water, I'll throw this other thing at them, or throw a voodoo shrimp that's rigged weedless over the grass. But right now, I think I've had 6 blow-ups on the top water. So, and if they'll eat top waters, it's the most fun watching them come up to the surface. So we'll stick with that for a little bit here, especially when it got cloudy.
Hi, this is John Donahue from Team Hobie down here in Captiva Island, catching nice redfish on topwater plugs using the Zero Spook Junior today. Nice little overcast. We've been able to pick them up deep out of the trees, and they got some real nice pink color on them here.
Little mangrove snapper. Been catching them out. Caught 3 or 4 of them out here this afternoon.
Hello, this is Paul Leibowitz, editor of Kayak Fish Magazine, and I'm here at Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge on Captiva Island. We've been fishing with a big crew of Hobie folks, and this is a beautiful place, countless ospreys and other bird life, and of course I wouldn't be talking to you if it weren't great for fishing. Now, we've had to deal with quite a bit of wind over the last couple of days, and I'm not sure that we could have fished it as effectively as we did if we didn't have first the Hobie pedal drives, and then this was my first opportunity to use the power pole micro anchor, and you just click a button, down it goes 2 more clicks, up it goes, you stop instantly. You don't have to mess around with a stakeout pole. It's fantastic. I would get one if I lived out here. So for more information on Kayak Fish Magazine, come check us out at kayakfishmag.com. That's kayakfishmag.com.
There is more water down there. We just got a tiny little glimpse of it during that week. There is probably more kayak water, particularly. They actually have a 190-mile marked kayak trail there that we didn't even use. And
Wow.
Calusa Blueways, it's famous. It's, you know, you mentioned the mangroves. You can paddle for 190 miles through mangroves without leaving Lee County. So it's an amazing place.
Yeah. Now, where did we ferry to? We loaded
We
up
went
all
over
the
to Cayo
kayaks?
Costa from Captiva Island, and that was Cayo Costa, which, as you notice, you can't get there by road because it's an island, but without bridges. So, yeah, the only way to get there is ferry. And we actually didn't see a lot of that either. You can actually rent cabins over there too. There's a state park there that you can rent cabins on.
So I gotta throw my little girly 2 cents in. You know, we have beautiful beaches here, and we have shells here, but I have never seen so many shells as on Captiva Island. That place was just littered with shells.
There are people that get up incredibly early in the morning to get their pick of the best ones because you get a new batch every day.
It's amazing.
So that draws probably almost as many people over there as the fishing does.
Yeah.
Just the white sand beaches and the shells over there are just a huge tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm. And of course, our accommodations were just over the top. Stayed at Captiva Charm. Absolutely gorgeous house, laid out strictly for entertaining and having fun with the pool out back. And
Backyard big enough for an international soccer game.
kitchen big enough to host a huge party, which
It
we
probably
did.
still wasn't big enough for what we did.
And of course, I stayed in the Princess Suite. It's
I
very
wouldn't
nice.
know because nobody was allowed upstairs into the good part of the house.
Yes, Ingrid was in the Queen Suite. I was in the Princess Suite, and
I was in somebody's study.
my walk-in closet was bigger than my living room at home. It was really nice, super nice. We really appreciate the folks at the TDC at Captiva Island for hosting the event and taking us out, showing us the town. Great places to go eat at night. And
Great restaurants over there.
For more information about fishing Captiva Island, go to fortmyers-sanibel.com.
Pretty close.
Pretty close? Real close.
You Google it, it'll come up. My answer to everything.
That's it.
Sunjammers and Hobie Kayaks provide the ultimate lightweight fishing platforms that will offer anyone what they need when it comes time to hit the water. Hobie Kayaks' commitment to innovation, quality, and owner satisfaction is unparalleled in the industry, and the service and selection provided by Sunjammers Water Sports is top-notch. So when it's time for you to go kayak fishing, there's only 2 names you need to remember: Sunjammers Water Sports and Hobie Kayaks. Sunjammers Water Sports is located on the west end of Panama City Beach and online at sunjammers.com.
The Captain Anderson makes fishing a breeze. There's a galley on board, and your comfortable trip is all-inclusive. Rod, reel, tackle, bait, and your fishing license. The traditional all-day trip from 7 to 5 p.m. Come aboard the Captain Anderson for a relaxing day of bottom fishing. There's plenty of room, so bring the whole family. It's a whopping big adventure, and that's no fishtail. The Captain Anderson is located at Captain Anderson's Marina, where the fish are always biting and the kids are always smiling. Please call for cruise schedules.
Fishing shallow grass flats really shouldn't be that complicated. I have a lot more stuff with me today than I normally do because I'm traveling. But generally speaking, when I go out fishing grass flats, a lot of times all my tackle will fit into a bag this size, literally, plus a spool of leader. All you really need, and fishing shallow grass flats is basically light tackle fishing. And that means, in my case, a 7-foot lightweight graphite rod is the easiest. They're the most sensitive, they cast easier, they're comfortable to fish because they are lightweight. 10-pound braid, and when I say braid, it means it feels like thread, is very adequate for virtually anything you're going to catch out here. The fish out here tend not to have big nasty teeth on them, so you can easily get away with a 20-pound leader. If the water's real clear, I prefer fluorocarbon because it is theoretically invisible in the water, although I don't think that's really the case, but it can't hurt, and it is a little more abrasion resistant if the fish run into some sharper structure. Save you a little bit of money here. You don't need any hardware. In other words, you don't need any snaps, swivels, any of that stuff. You're going to catch more fish if you learn to tie a line-to-line loop knot. Leave out the swivel. You don't need anything that distracts the fish, anything that can fail. And this is just better tackle. You'll catch more fish if you leave anything out that might spook a wary fish into clear water. One of the things that's really important, if you don't have a split ring on your lures, and I tend to take them off all my lures, you want to tie your lures on with a loop knot. The reason for that is it gives them a lot more lifelike movement, especially on the smaller soft plastic lures. And when I say loop knot, I just mean a small loop like that that won't slide down. It's real easy to tie, and I'll show you that in a minute here. But the reason for that is when I twitch any lure, if I tie that down real tight with a hard uni knot or clinch knot, those are good knots, they won't break. But when I twitch it forward, all it does is come straight forward. Whereas if I tie it off a loop knot, it has a lot more lateral movement. It just looks a lot more natural in the water. And this knot that I use, it's every bit, it's really, really quick to tie. I'm sorry I didn't bring a colored line like I usually do when I show this. All you do is take your leader material and run about 2 inches through the eye of the hook. I'm sorry, pinch it off right there. Form a Mickey Mouse ear and form a second Mickey Mouse ear, just like that. Run the second one through the first one and then just pinch it off. At this point you take that tag in, run it through that second ear, grab the end of it, fold it down and lock it in place wherever you want that loop knot to form. Tighten it up with this running line and basically you're done right there. Nice thing, I wet it down before I give it the final tightening, and then I trim it off. And by the way, if you want a good pair of clippers, these little boomerangs are so hard to beat. They clip braid, they clip fluorocarbon, and they just almost indestructible. Cut everything very clean, and they're not expensive. Anyway, that little knot doesn't slip. As you can see, it was real quick to tie, but that just leaves me a lot more flexibility when I twitch any lure. It acts a lot more lifelike, and I think fish appreciate that.
When you only have one shot, one chance, there are only 2 names to remember: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. C&G carries the full line of Browning rifles, shotguns, handguns, knives, and clothing. Like the Browning X-Boat, every component of the Browning X-Boat works together to deliver the most critical feature: total accuracy. Visit C&G Sporting Goods today, because you don't want to miss that one shot.
Hello, my name is Butch Newell, Regional Fishing Team member with Hobie Cat. Today I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how I've rigged out my tandem island. Okay, so starting up here by the sail, one of the first things I did was actually add a Ronston swivel cleat, and that allows you to be out on the trampolines, hiked out, and actually be able to control the main sheet extremely easy. You can see it'll swivel, it follows you back and forth to either side, allowing you to open, close that down. Gives you lots of opportunity to just enjoy being out on trampolines. So here on the rear AMA, I was able to work with Luther at Yak Attack, and he developed some clamps
that'll go around the AMA and allow the gear track to actually be secured to utilize any of the Ram products, whether it's a rod holder or GoPro mount. Offers up all kinds of opportunities to mount things on the AMAs where you couldn't before. On the port side of my Tandem Island, I mounted a gear track with a Ram ball and added the Lowrance Elite 7 HDI. It's a great unit. The plotter, the sounder, and actually being able to use that downward imaging to know exactly what's there, what type of bait ball, how big of a fish. It really gives you some good information to use as you're out bottom fishing or trolling out in the waters. One of the additions I've made to the kayak is here in the rear. I built a rod holder that allows me to put rods out to the sides trolling and gives me 4 vertical positions to store extra rods. I added a 10-watt solar panel, and there's also a light with reflective tape for safety. Under the rear hatch is a 12-volt sealed cell battery, and all of that power is what makes running that Elite 7 simple and reliable. You might be asking why there's 3 fair leads and only 2 are being used. Well, the Tandem Island is great because you can sail it from the front or the rear. If you decide you're going to sail it from the rear, you can actually take the main sheet, run it through the block one more time, and that'll give you a little extra leverage when you're trying to take the sail in and out. What I really like about this system is the way this gets the main sheet up and away from your neck when you are actually out on the water trolling. As you can see, it comes from the back block up to the fair leads and then straight across to the sail. What makes that nice is when you are trolling and you get hooked up, it makes it simple to furl the sail and not have to worry about this line being down in the way. Again, my name is Butch Newell. Please don't hesitate to stop by and say hi if you see me on the water. I'm always happy to answer questions, tell you a little bit more about what I did to the Tandem Island, and look forward to seeing you on the water.
For everything you need on or off the water, visit the Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas. Both locations provide you with easy access boat slips, ramps, fuel, bait, and tackle. Come visit our ship stores and see our unique nautical gifts and clothing, or just relax with a cool drink and grab a snack while watching the boats come in.
Don't forget that Mariner on your shopping list. Come by and see our unique nautical gifts, cards, and clothing at the ship store at Panama City or St. Andrews Marina.
Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas, everything you remember and so much more.
We've seen a lot of kayak fishing today, but most of it's been in the inland calm waters. Check out Landon Mace as he goes in search of big game fish in his pro angler over in Destin, Florida.
Sail on!
Yeah, preacher man. Right now I'm bringing that pistol, you know. Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you. Go church, man.
The Pro Angler 12 and 14 definitely was the kayak of choice during the Captiva Riders event, where most of the riders actually were fly fishing, standing up looking for redfish, trout, and snook. Back in our home waters, my good buddy David Beck actually uses a Pro Angler 12 to throw a cast net for mullet. So with fall being right around the corner, let's go check in with David Beck and learn more about the fall Red Row Mullet Run.
Hi, this is David Beck with your Bay County Outdoors Fishing Report. Fall Red Row Mullet Run. With the sudden water temperature change and your low tide during the middle of the day, you're going to find most of your red row fish are laid up on your deeper channels and on your grass flats. When the tide starts changing, you're going to find your bigger female red row fish are going to be up in the grass beds. They're going to be up there feeding, and if you got an overcast day like today, your fish can't see you near as good as they can on a bright sunny day. So you want to make sure if the sun's up shining, you want to kind of get the sun in your face so you don't throw a shadow over the fish and spook your fish. Most of your fish are going to be able to see your shadows. If you want to fish towards the piers, out towards Hathaway Bridge, towards the pass, right now you're going to find a lot more bigger groups of fish, and the fish are probably going to be more fat red row fish that are going to be going towards the pass to make their run. Usually during the later parts of December, our red row fish will be ready to go out. We're going to be having some north wind coming in, a lot of cold fronts. That's going to push a lot of fish that's inside the bay. They're going to bring those fish out towards the Gulf to make their run. To bunches, I would suggest to let go all of the smaller fish and keep your targeted fish, which is going to be your red and white row fish. If you catch a mixture of fish, your white row fish, you'll be able to tell it. If you squeeze the fish's belly, you'll also see either a red or a white's going to come out. Your white row fish is being your male fish, and a red row fish is being your female fish. You're not going to catch many silver mullet right now. Most of my fish that you're going to be targeting is going to be your black mullet. You can also go towards the Hathaway Bridge and catch fish on the actual seawall, or go to the piers inside St. Andrews State Park on their piers are also good. If you wade fish in the bays, I would wait till you get about 2 hours of tide change, which meaning there'll be a low tide and your tide will be coming in, and catch that tide, the moving tide, and then that's when you're going to catch those female fish are going to come up and get on those grass flats. They're going to be finning with each other and rolling, basically what I call rolling on top of each other. They're mealing together. They're bunching up. For your latest fishing report, go to BayCountyOutdoors.com, and don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Yes, you're so good.
I hope so, Miss Cheryl.
We had a great show last week. We had Captain Ed from DOA Lures came out to fish with us on our home waters, doing a little testing of the new DOA shad tail, and we did pretty good. We had a couple of redfish before the storm ran us off, but if you didn't catch it, make sure to check it out at BayCountyOutdoors.com.
A little ripple where he was sitting, and I just threw it in front of him and kind of just swam it very slow, and that tail just sits there and pulses. It's a really cool bait. I've had a lot of fun with it so far since I've been fishing with it. And I have it on an owner twist lock hook with a little bit of a belly weight in it. Boy, he's pretty. I'll show you the hook. It has a big gap in it, so when they eat it with this plastic 4-inch bait, it can still get a good hook set. That's an awesome color right there, that glow gold. That's it.
Good tournament fish, right?
Yeah, that's a good model. Well, here's the fish. Let's get him back in there. He's beautiful. There he is. Thank you, Nathan. That was a great eye seeing it. I know, I hear that thunder in the background. It's like Glad we caught him. I'm gonna set him back. He's a happy guy. I'll show you what I was using there. It's a 4-inch shad, 4-inch DOA shad. And if you're familiar with our shad we have now, it's much smaller, thinner body, and a smaller tail. This has bigger profile, and it really has a big tail that as you're working it, it just sits there and does a really nice wobble. The hook I have it on is a 6.0 owner twist lock style hook. So it twists into the nose of the bait. I like this because it's very easy and quick to rig. Has a great gap in it as well. So it screws right on. And all you need to do is kind of line it up and push it through. It'll lay in there. That belly weight is 3/32 of an ounce. So it's not real heavy, and it's perfect for in here because it's shallow, there's some grass around. It'll just allow that bait to kind of wobble back and forth and have a good keel. So it'll just kind of do a back and forth motion. One thing with this bait, with 3/32, if you go too fast with it, it'll actually start to spin in a circle. So you gotta, it's kind of like working a spoon. You want the wobble, you don't want the spin. Nathan, he's seen something else. DOA 4-inch shad.